I can.
You can?
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So we have some folks here and we're getting ready. Hey, Steve, can you close your blinds?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So as Prudence was the chief instigator of our returning or retreating to our homes rather than being outside, I was expecting the sun to come out shortly, but it has not yet. But I think the bad part of this storm came, let's say between 1 and 3, and it's now past us. And so we could have met tonight, but we're all here at home. Let me see. I see Lewis Grimm is with us. I see Jim Hart. I see. All right, now I see Cameron. And Cameron, you're with who now?
I'm with Bowler. I'm the civil engineer of record.
That means with what application or presentation?
With the Chick-fil-A.
Okay, so I'm assuming we're gonna all get $10 gift certificates for Chick-fil-A. Otherwise, it's not worth having you discuss that with us. Okay.
I'll ask the powers that be.
Okay, understand. We've got a lot on our agenda tonight. Some things that we have planned. I'm glad that you can make it. We also have another presentation tonight after the Chick-fil-A about the Skyview school. And it occurred to me that I would believe that every school in Fairfax County is a school that has a view of the sky. So it isn't necessarily a unique name. If they had said Airport View or something like that, or Mountain View or something, that would work. But Skyview, now, when I grew up in New York City, there were schools that occupied the first 4 stories of a 20 or 40 or 60-story tall skyscraper. And those people did not have sky views, because they were in the basement of a big building. But in our case, they've really run out of good names. They didn't like Sully because people said, "Oh, that will sully the people there." Weston High School was, in fact, not the furthest west high school we had in the county. That's, I think, Westfields. Of course, West is in its name, so there you go. So they came up with Skyview. All right. Maybe they could have gone something with the 2 or 3 shows ago of James Bond, where it's called Skyfall. Remember that one in the hinterland of Scotland? But okay, that's neither here nor there. So I'm going to turn it over to Sherry. I am going to share my desktop, and in my desktop, I should have Firefox. And let me make sure I have the right Firefox before I share it. All right, hold on. And we're going to turn this off.
Jeff, I never sent you my presentation, so I'm going to share my screen, right?
Okay, good. I was wondering, I have your statement of work. I have your site plan. So I'm going to need you to send that to me as soon as you can, so we have it for record. All right. So with that, I'm going to share my desktop, go over the agenda, and then it'll be time for you to do what you need to do. All right.
Excellent. Thank you.
So I'm going to go here to the meeting. I'm going to share website here, and that one. Share Firefox, share. Okay, and that's, I don't know if that's the wrong thing for you to share. So let's go here, and I want you to see, do you see the agenda? It should say a picture of the Sully and Sully District Councils. Everybody see that, right?
Yep.
Okay, this is the 16 March agenda. And due to the inclement weather, or the predictions of inclement weather, we've decided to hold it in-house. And I sent this out to everybody. We have in the minutes the fact that we have the videos of the February Sully District Council's membership meeting and the 16 February joint, that's 2024 and 2025. So those dates have to be changed. All right. Somebody's got an echo.
Is that me?
I think it is you, John. Turn off your mic.
I will.
Okay. Or turn off your speakers, one of the two. So, and here's what our actions were taken on 16 February. Where the first two items, we voted not to object with the provision that if staff report indicates there are objections, they should plan on returning, and we postponed the question about the county sale. The next Sully District Council meeting will be held next Tuesday on the 24th, and that's a Tuesday, especially consider Wednesday is our normal meeting. We will be speaking, we will hear about Washington Dulles Airport by the Vice President and Airport Manager, Richard Gowanowski, and Michael Cooper, who's been with us before. It's a feather in our cap to have Richard Gowanowski there because he's the Vice President Airport Manager. He's the most knowledgeable person about it. So tonight, the things that we're going to hear, we're going to speak to. The first item is Chick-fil-A bypass lane at Sully Plaza Shopping Center, and Sherry will be speaking to it. It's a request by the Chick-fil-A to add canopies, a small bypass lane to existing drive-through, and it's located at the Sully Plaza Shopping Center. If you need to look at it, the statement of justification and the SAA plot are here. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to stop. And Sherry, I turn it over to you.
All right. Well, just bear with me. I have not used WebEx in a while, so let's
They're
see.
all the same tool. They do the same thing.
All right. Can you see my screen with the PowerPoint presentation?
Not yet.
Really? Okay.
You got to pick what you're going to share and then say share. So it's a
Okay.
two-step process. So I want to share this, then you go about it and say share. And
All
I
right,
see it
how
now. We do see it now.
Okay, excellent. Okay. Well, thank you and good evening. My name is Sherry Aiken. I'm a senior land use planner with the law firm of McGuire Woods, and it is a pleasure to be here this evening on behalf of Chick-fil-A. With me tonight, I have Cameron Mavity with Bowler Engineering, as well as Colt Churchwell with JLL, Chick-fil-A's project management team. And what I'm going to do is just provide hopefully a quick overview of the proposal, and then between Cameron, Colt, and I, we'll be able to answer any questions that you have. I'm going to guess that most of everyone is familiar with the existing Chick-fil-A restaurant at the Sully Plaza Shopping Center. We obtained a special exception for this site from the Board of Supervisors back in 2017, and the restaurant and drive-through has been open since about 2022. As you can see, the shopping center is located in a dense commercial area at the intersection of Route 50 and Centerville Road, and Chick-fil-A has been a popular addition to this center for the past 4 years or so. Here is a close-up aerial view of the existing pad site, the drive-through lanes, and the immediate parking area. The striping may not be easy for you to see in this picture, but the drive-through was designed with a dual lane entry point that extends as dual lanes through the ordering area, which then tapers down to 1 lane as you reach the pickup window. And with this application, Chick-fil-A is proposing 2 upgrades to the site. First, similar to what's been done in other Chick-fil-A restaurants in the county, as well as nationwide, Chick-fil-A would like to add 2 new canopies over the existing drive-through lane, as well as that small bump out of the drive-through. So here, shaded in red, you can see the areas for the 2 new canopies. The small bump out lane you could see at the southern side of the building with the red hatching. And as a bit of a background, you may have heard this before, but years ago, Chick-fil-A revamped their ordering system to use smart tablet technology with the ability to process credit cards out in the drive-through areas. This allowed Chick-fil-A to position staff outside during peak hours of operation to process more cars more efficiently. It also followed Chick-fil-A's values of high customer service. It was a way to bring those employees out to the drive-through and have that one-on-one interaction with their drive-through customers. Nowadays, most Chick-fil-A new builds are constructed with the canopies. However, for those earlier restaurants that don't have them, Chick-fil-A has been systematically retrofitting the drive-throughs with the canopies. Overall, they do serve to improve drive-through operations by facilitating orders faster and helping customers in a more efficient manner. But most importantly, they do serve to protect employees and customers from the elements as the orders are placed and picked up from the drive-through. The site modifications for the canopies are minimal. They are appropriately sized with the ordering canopy at the western side of the building. And I hope you can see my cursor. It's going to be at about 1,500 square feet. The order fulfillment canopy is at the southern point of the restaurant, which will be attached to the building and total about 450 square feet. Heights for the canopy will be at about 14 feet. As you can see, they will be completely installed over already impervious area. They'll be equipped with recessed lighting and climate controlled to protect employees and the customers from the elements. And then in addition, the small bump out is going to be at the southern portion of the drive-through. As I mentioned earlier, the drive-through lanes begin as dual lanes, and then when it reaches the point after they order, it does taper down to one lane. These tight conditions create operational challenges that the bypass lane will directly address. Primarily, it will provide a way for customers to go around a vehicle that may be taking longer at the pickup window. Or if it's a busier time, employees can use that area as a way to serve customers faster. It's very important to note that this is an important feature. Dual drive-through configurations have become a Chick-fil-A brand standard, and it ensures consistent customer service across all locations. Currently, operators in Chick-fil-A's market with single lane drive-throughs face a competitive disadvantage compared to those restaurants that do have a bypass lane or already have the dual drive-throughs. Since most Chick-fil-A operators manage only one restaurant, adding this bypass lane will create an equal opportunity for this operator, but also more important to meet the brand standards for a unified customer experience. So at the customer level, reducing wait times and having the opportunity to bypass a vehicle that is taking a long time really does reduce potential customer frustration and then just contributes to an overall satisfactory customer experience. So then as far as design, the goal is to make the canopies and bypass lane look as if they were a part of the original build out. This slide shows landscaping. We do have to remove some of the trees and bushes where the bump out will go. However, we are replacing as much as we can along that area, as well as adding an additional row of shrubs along the western side and 3 new trees at the drive-through entrance. Also, the design of the canopies will be very minimalistic and representative of what exists at other Chick-fil-A sites. The canopies will be constructed with steel framing, cantilevered beams with caisson footings. Both canopies will have that dark steel framing or dark bronze metallic texture to complement the existing buildings and features on the buildings. The recessed lighting underneath the canopies will be downward facing, so there won't be light spillover. This top rendering on the slide is a view looking directly at the order fulfillment window at the southern end of the restaurant, closest to Route 50. You can see the new ordering canopy that's going to be attached to the building. Again, very minimalistic to the look and feel of it. I do need to mention that the little details may be subject to change based upon engineering needs as we go through site plan. However, the overall profile you see, the size, the color, the materials, they'll all be consistent with what's shown here, as well as be similar and consistent to what's been approved and constructed elsewhere in the county for Chick-fil-A canopies. Further in that first rendering with the replacement landscaping, once it fully matures, it will be able to mitigate views of that drive-through lane and the bump out. Oops. Then the bottom rendering is taking more at an angle to show the ordering area. Again, the canopy is very low profile and designed to blend in with the existing building and site. And that's really about it as far as details. Our Planning Commission hearing is scheduled for May 6th. Supervisor Smith is agreeable to scheduling the board hearing as well, which we hope to have on May 19th. Also, since there really are not any outstanding issues with staff, negotiations with them have gone very well. We're also going to be asking for concurrent processing of the site plan and hope to submit that shortly. And so with that, that is all I have. And Cameron, Colt, and I will be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, here's the first question. I'm pretty sure that we've heard the same presentation for the one at the Air and Space Museum Parkway.
Correct. Very similar.
Okay, and you have, I don't know if for that Chick-fil-A, they had room for the second lane. I know they have the canopies, but I don't recall whether they had a 2-lane situation. So you're saying that you will be able to deliver food to the people while they're in the queue, and then once they get the food, they'll be able to bypass the actual window.
Yes. Yes, it's going to be, cars will be able, if there's someone taking a long time at the window, their order's taking a long time, or there's just some delay in normal processing. Chick-fil-A employees are generally out in the drive-through lanes. That's a part of how they operate. They'll be able to direct cars to go around into the bypass lane. If their order's ready, they'll then be able to grab it from an employee and then proceed around the car that may be holding up another lane.
Okay.
I think I asked your question. I answered your question.
You did. So I know that Louis Grimm has his hand up, so let's ask Louis to speak.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Apologies for not having any video. My camera seems to be acting up a little bit. You're right. I am familiar with the Air and Space Museum outlet. I have used that on a semi-regular basis every couple months or so. And Jeff, you're correct. That does not have a bypass lane on it. My understanding is the way that that operates, it does have 2 order lanes that then merge into a single lane past the pickup window. But then, and this has happened to me once or twice, if they're unable to provide your purchased items right there at the window when your car reaches it, they say, please go around to the front, park in a numbered space, and we'll deliver it to you there. Is that process only being applied at Air and Space, or would it be applied at this location as well?
We are not going to have numbered spaces at this facility. And Colt and Cameron, feel free if you have any other knowledge about just operations in general. But no, we don't have control of any of the parking spaces. That's more of a standalone site for Chick-fil-A at the Air and Space site. We do not have any ability to create reserved spots or numbered spots. So that's not the only reason for this, but the bypass lane really is the room is there, and it will just be able to accommodate that dual drive-through that just helps expedite operations and speeds up service for customers.
Yeah, and if you are okay with me jumping in, Sherry, this
Of
is
course.
Cameron with Bowler, engineer of record. That's a great question and a great example of what this pull-off bypass lane could serve. Instead of at another location where maybe I've never been to that location, but where you're maybe pulling into a numbered spot, instead the team member that's in the drive-through who's serving you, and maybe you have 5 milkshakes in your order and 5 people in your car, they may ask you to pull over into the bypass lane until your food is ready for a bigger order to make sure that everybody else can keep moving through that first lane. So that's an excellent question.
And I personally do not like, with no offense, but I don't like when I get directed to a lane. I feel like I'm going to be forgotten or something. I never am, but I don't know. I always just like to stay in the drive-through lane. So
But
the bypass lane will be ideal here.
in many cases, people pre-order their food. I know I have when my granddaughter's with me. She just waves a magic wand, and all of a sudden I get a bill. So we're told to pull in the front at a spot with a number, and we indicate the number, and lo and behold, one of the customer service folks brings out our food. So you will probably have a number in the front just to handle that. And those will be to the right of that white vehicle, to the north of that white vehicle in the picture that we have displayed. Evelyn, you're going to be next, so I'm going to go talking to you on that.
Oh, yes. Thank you for this presentation, Sherry. I was going to mention that I haven't been to the Chick-fil-A at Air and Space Museum in a while, but I do pass by on my way to the Planning Commission meetings. I believe that's the one on Fairfax Knoll Drive, and they have the
Fair enough.
setup exactly.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Exactly like this one. And I have not seen or heard of any problems or concern with this particular layout. Just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right, Evelyn, you just raised your hand. Lower it again unless you have another question.
Sorry. Sorry.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, I'm going to open it up to anybody else. Oh, wait. So before I do that, Sherry, is there anybody else on your presentation team that you would like to engage?
No, I think we touched on all the basics. I'm glad Commissioner Spain could be here. And yeah, just happy to answer any remaining questions that you may have.
Okay, so let me ask everybody, if you don't have your full name shown, please put your full name in you can modify your name so that we have your full name. And it's just good for our records, and everybody knows who everybody is. Some of us know, some of us don't. So please try to modify your name so it's the full name. I know some people have added their organization. That's not necessary, but it'd be great if you could put your full name in. Okay, so let me look to see if there's anything else on this list of, let me look and see if the names, Jay, do you have anything? Jim Hart, do you have anything? Is any of our other members of our organization, do we have anybody who'd like else to speak?
I have nothing, Jeff.
Okay, anybody else then?
I got a question.
I thought I put a hand up, but
Go ahead.
well, I just wondered, climate controlled under the canopy, is that like heat and air conditioning?
I don't think air conditioning. They do have the fans.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it would just
Yeah.
blow away.
Yeah, they do have the fans, and they have the radiant heaters that will be positioned in certain areas where the employees will stand.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And
I got one.
Calder Cameron, correct me if I'm wrong, they're from the ceiling of the canopies, correct?
Yes. And Colt, I don't think we can hear you. But yes, Sherry, you are correct.
Excellent. Thank you for that information.
Jeff?
Okay, with that in mind, I hear
Jeff?
no, excuse me, did anybody raise their hand?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Are you adding any increased pavement for the double lanes?
Just in the area of the bump out. At its widest point, it's going to be about 9 feet.
Okay.
But as far as actual square footage,
Well, my
that you
point is that I remember when this came through the planning commission, or started to come through the planning commission, and it was over the top of a stormwater retention pond, which appears to still be there. I'm assuming because of the small, but the volume that the stormwater could handle was of concern because of the parking lot from the shopping center, coupled with the additional pavement added for Chick-fil-A. I'm assuming that additional pavement you're adding will not affect the volume in the stormwater retention pond.
Great memory, John. Good memory. Yeah, we have checked to make sure the pond still functions as it needs to per Virginia state regulations, as well as there's a little swale right there too, like a engineered grass swale that also will function as needed. It's
Okay,
too
great.
minimal of impervious area to like have really an impact that is not negligible.
Okay, just checking, that's all.
Yep.
Okay, then, before we proceed, I'm gonna ask the people who I can't identify, if they can identify themselves and tell us what organization they're representing or participating. So I'm gonna start with Chris K. Chris, if you want to unmute yourself and tell us what organization you're with, or what homeowners association, citizens.
This is Chris Kerner. I'm the elected director of the Northern Virginia Soil and Water Conservation District, and also the vice president of the Fox Heritage Homeowners Association in Oakton.
Thank you so much. If you would, Chris, just modify your screen name so it's got your full name. It makes it easier for us to track this, okay? Right now
Okay.
it's Chris K, and we're not certain. Colt Churchwell? Colt, why don't you unmute yourself and tell us who you represent?
Can you all hear me?
We can hear you.
You now. Okay. Sorry about that. So I'm Colt Churchwell. I'm with JLL, and I'm part of the Chick-fil-A project. I'm the project manager on behalf of Chick-fil-A.
Thank you so much. Eric Gordon?
Hey, Eric Gordon here, Chief of Facilities for Fairfax County Public Schools. We're here to talk about our Skyline or Skyview High School.
Excellent. We'll have you soon. All right. We know Evelyn Spain, who is a Sully District Planning Commissioner. We know Jay Johnson, the Treasurer. We know Jihan Oslin, who's a member of the Sully District Council Joint Land Use and Transportation Committee. Jessica is here with the Skyview. Jim Hart's the member of the Sully District Joint Sully District Land Use and Transportation Committee. John Litzenberger is the co-chair. He's there twice, so he's twice as important. Louis Grimm is our vice president of Sully District Council. Megan is with Bowler. Poonam is on staff with Kathy Smith. And so I'm just going to go down this a little bit more, see if I can get some more names here. And see if I can do this. Hold on. We go down this way. Maybe it's the bottom. Maybe I. All right. Scott Ersbach.
Yes, good evening. I'm also here from Fairfax County Public Schools for the next segment. So checking in a little early.
Ponderance of people who are here to present to us. And we thank you all for coming out tonight, well, not coming out tonight, participating tonight. And Stephen Kulik is with the Sully Council Joint Committee in the Western Fairfax. William Nance, he's self-descriptive. That's very good, William. I appreciate that. And I believe, if I look at this, that I have everybody there. So thank you so much. Again, Chris, if you could fix your name on your list there, or if you send me a message, I'll do it myself. I can do that as a moderator. So if you message me back with the spelling, I'll modify the name so it will show up on our records. With that, Sherry, I don't see any reason why we have a problem with this. I'll take a motion from somebody that we have no objection.
I move no objection.
Okay, and our normal preface for this is that if you do find that the staff of the Fairfax County has any complaints or concerns that need to be addressed, we ask you to come back and resolve those with them and then tell us what you did to resolve them. If you don't think it's a major one, you can just send us a letter saying, hey, it was a minor problem, we resolved it, no big deal. But if you find that you have an objection or this consternation, we ask that you come back. With that in mind, all those in favor of no objection, please say aye.
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 Hearing no nays, the voice has it. This is, we have no objection with this, Sherry. You can send out coupons in the mail later on this week. Okay, never mind. I didn't say that. All right.
Thank
Chris,
you
so much,
so much, everyone.
Take it easy. All right. Thank you so
Be
much.
safe.
We're going to turn it
Thanks.
over to the next people. And
Thanks,
I'm
everyone.
going to share my desktop again. And I'm going to share here. And then I'm going to share this. And so what we have here, the Skyview School, which is the old Islamic Academy, which we saw a decade ago. And I toured late last year when you had the open house. And there's a 2232 that's scheduled for that. And so William Nance is here, Jessica Barr is here, Salem Bush, I didn't see his name, and some other people. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jessica. Do you want to share your screen or do you want me to share my screen? Either way.
I can share my screen if that works.
Okay, go ahead, Jessica, please do
You
so.
all-
I'm going
all
to
can
stop
hear me?
sharing mine first. I've stopped sharing, so go right ahead.
Okay. Let me get this into. All right, how does that look for everybody?
We can see it.
Everyone
can
can
see
see
it.
it. It's full screen. You don't see any of my other desktop junk.
No, not yet.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I will introduce myself. Jeff already kind of did. My name's Jessica Vera. I'm with Hunt and Andrews Kurth, and I am representing the Fairfax County School Board in their 2232 application for a new high school that is to be known as Skyview High School. And just for a little background, a 2232 is a public facilities review as to the character, location, and extent of a public facility, this case being this new high school. So as Jeff mentioned, Fairfax County School Board acquired what was previously known as King Abdullah Academy in Herndon off Education Drive in August of this past year.
Oak Hill, let's get that straight. Oak Hill.
Oak Hill?
Oak Hill. If you look at 20171, although it's the Herndon Post Office in general, the local post office location is Oak Hill. That's the one I'm looking at.
Okay. Oak Hill. I've been saying Herndon, but I stand corrected.
Because we're not in Herndon, and I try to make certain that people are aware that you're not in the town of Herndon, just like you're not in the town of Falls Church, or you're not in these other places when you're in Fairfax County. So if we can, use the local post office name, differentiates us from Herndon, we'd be better off in the long run. Thank you again.
Sure. So Fairfax County School Board, as I said, acquired the what was previously known as King Abdullah Academy. It was built in 2016. It's a state-of-the-art facility previously used for private school education. This was an amazing opportunity for the school board. The school board had been looking for land in the western part of Fairfax County for years to try and build a high school. But one, there really wasn't that much available land to build a high school. And the cost to acquire the raw land and build a high school would have been several $100 million more than what they ultimately acquired this essentially ready to use school for. So it was a great win for Fairfax County Public Schools. This slide right here is just an overview of the school. The school has a main building that's 325,000 square feet, and then 2 shell buildings is what we're calling them across Education Drive, which have 15,000 square feet each. Fairfax County Schools intends to open the main building of the school for rising 9th and 10th graders this upcoming fall. And then by the 2028-2029 school year, it will be a full high school with 9th through 12th graders. This is going to be a traditional high school. It's going to offer the full spectrum of academics, electives, athletics. Fairfax County Schools is exploring certain pathways. Right now, those that they're exploring, which are subject to change, are aerospace, robotics, engineering, and AI. For the upcoming 2026-2027 school year of 9th and 10th graders, it'll be 1,000 students. And then by the 2028-2029 school year, the maximum enrollment will be about 2,000 students. And as previously mentioned, Fairfax County had been looking for land for a new high school for years. And this new high school is, has been needed to address the population growth in the western part of the county and relieve some capacity concerns from Centerville, Chantilly, and Westfield high schools. And Fairfax County Public Schools is in the process of determining the exact boundaries for this upcoming school year. This is a site layout of the school. That building 1 is the main building you see right there. That will be open to the 9th and 10th graders this upcoming fall. There's several athletic fields, as you can see there. And then across Education Drive to the left, you can see those 2 shell buildings right there. Here's just a closer aerial view that you can see the building, the fields, what it looks like. And then the next slides are photographs of the school. And you can really see how, state of the art, how wonderfully designed this school was. This is from the front. Here's one of the fields. Here's the back, basketball court. There's a courtyard. If anyone wants me to stop on any one slide, please let me know. Here are some interior shots of the school. More interior shots. This is a 600-person auditorium, I believe, on the top. And then here are some athletic courts, rec area, gym inside the school. Some benefits of this school, as I mentioned, state-of-the-art school facility, already built, relatively new. It has 3 gyms. It has a large Olympic-sized swimming pool, athletic fields, turf field with a track, weight room, a large auditorium, multiple classrooms, cafeterias, dining facilities. As I mentioned, it's a perfect location given the need for a high school in this part of the county. And FCPS was able to achieve a huge cost savings by purchasing this already built, essentially ready to go school, than buying raw land and building a new school. And that is the meat of this presentation. I will turn it over to questions. I'm here as well as Scott and Eric from FCPS and William and Nance from the county, who is our staff coordinator on the 2232 to answer any questions.
Okay. I will turn it over to the people who raised their hands, but I have a question before you do that, Jessica. Can you go back to the map, if you would?
Sure. I think I stopped sharing my screen prematurely. Okay. This one or this one?
That one. Okay.
Yeah.
So that one's just as good. So when the Islamic Academy presented to us a decade ago, discussions that the road that goes in front of their property was the logical choice to extend across that vacant parcel to the northwest to connect with Sunrise Valley where it now terminates. And there was discussion that they would not do that because, they were satisfied with what they had. But since it's now a county property and this road would be a perfect way to connect the Sunrise Valley all the way down through Air and Space Museum Parkway and create a much better through traffic situation than making a right and then a left to continue. Now that it's a county-owned property, I'm going to ask the county, and they don't have anybody from the Department of Transportation with us tonight, I don't think. Got lots of other folks, but what's the status and what can we do and what can we make that happen? Well, I asked. Karen Kaplan is our Fairfax County Transportation Advisory Commission for Sully. So great Sully TAC person. Here's the TAC issue in Sully. But anyway, can anybody speak to that connection?
Jeff, by the county, are you asking William Nance from the county or from schools?
I'm being generic.
Okay.
Somebody from the county who has cognizance will say, I verily can speak to this. And I will leave that up to the people who are with us today. But that is an issue that we couldn't persuade the Islamic Academy to do. But now that the county is the owner of this property, now we can raise it to the county. So I will let a county person answer it.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. William Nance with the Department of Planning and Development. I don't think I have the full answer to this, but I want to check in with FCDOT and confirm with them. But it was my understanding that it was intended to be extended in the future. I think that was something that is in the plan, in the comp plan somewhere. But I can check into that. But I don't know it's currently a VDOT accepted road. But I know it's my understanding there's no plans to change it with this application that I know of so far, and I believe that FCPS would concur with that. But I can check in a little bit more with the Department of Transportation to get a little bit more
so why
insight.
don't you get back with us and work it with our TAC representative, Karen Kaplan, so that she's involved in this practice as well. And Poonam, if you could work that out with Kathy Smith's office, we'd like to see if this is a short distance and it really would change the flow of this road, especially since what we trying to do is to avoid having traffic to get on the major roads. If there can be a connection from the north, and this goes all the way up from the Innovation Station down to the Air and Space Museum Parkway. And it'd be a great way to connect the two, especially that tantalizing curve gives you the impression, well, they planned it that way. Okay, with that in mind, does anybody else? Now, Jim Hart, you have your hand raised, so I'm going to let you speak next.
Sure. I kind of was going to ask. Oh, we lost it. We just had it up. It disappeared.
Go back to it if you would.
Can you all see it?
Yes. Thank you.
Sorry. I'm trying to figure out how I can see your faces and my screen at the same time, and I can't figure that out. So it's either your faces or the screen or the PowerPoint.
Well, I wondered if the road were extended across that adjacent property, what Mr. Vance is saying is that it's on the comp plan, but it's not part of the 2232 for the school to do it now.
Correct. I can check into that again. FCDOT provided some comments and on this application, so I would like to consult with them again to confirm that that's what their opinion was, and that they found it was listed in the comp plan to be connected at some point. But again, it's not something that's been proposed as part of this application.
Okay.
I can let FCPS speak to it, provide some additional context, but that I'm not sure of the status of the right of way. I mean, this is they don't own any of the other property there. So I'm not sure if FCPS would like to opine on that any further, but I can get some more insight from FCDOT in the coming days.
Am I correct that there's only one way in and out absent that connection?
That's true.
Yes. That is
That's
the
correct.
way in and out.
Well, again, it seems like that would be a very important connection for people coming and going. What is that lot? I mean, who owns that?
Are you referring to this?
I guess where the cursor is now. Go.
Yeah. Can you see my cursor?
Yes, that kind of empty
Yes.
lot.
Yes.
What is that?
That, I believe, is an industrial property, but I can't speak to the ownership right now. I can check on that.
What are those three white buildings? Those are not the buildings you were referring to.
No,
you're
those are right.
sort of
Those
a
are right there.
pie-shaped thing. What are the three buildings above that with the white roof? Yeah.
Nobody knows. They're not
No, I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, they just
Okay.
appear to be some sort of industrial use.
I think there's
they're-
some industrial warehouse use, if I remember correctly, but don't hold me to that.
Yeah, one appears to be some sort of rental, RV rentals is what Google Maps states that it is.
What is that site zoned?
I think it's I3.
Okay.
I
Is
mean,
it-
again, I don't know if William, if you have that handy, I can exit on my screen and check quickly, but from looking at this,
I
for
believe
the
it's
application,
I5 actually.
I5, okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
I5.
Everything I5 is vulnerable to being very quickly a by right data center.
That's why FCPS snagged this up.
To be next to the data center?
No, to prevent a data center.
Well, you can't prevent
No, I
something
know,
on
I
the
know.
next
I'm
door
being a
property.
little tongue in cheek.
Can you zoom in a little closer on the building one?
You should be able
I
to.
had two questions. Well,
Is that good?
okay. Where do the buses circulate? Because I guess there's not really a bus thing now. Where did the buses go? If you could explain that.
So there's the Kiss and Ride right here in red, if you see it. And then the bus turnarounds are, they enter
Jessica,
from
if I-
education. What?
Yeah, I can help you out there if you need a little
Yes.
bit of help there. Right where your cursor is,
Yes.
is where the buses will ingress. Then they'll turn left, circulate through the parking lot, swing back around for drop off, pickup, and then egress the same drive aisle, the same curb cut that they came in. So there's a separation between car traffic and bus traffic on the site.
I don't know. I don't know how many parking spaces you would need for a public high school as opposed to a private high school, but does that change? And are there, if you have 2,000 students, is there enough? Is there enough parking on the site?
There is enough parking on the site.
Do you have to increase the number of spaces?
No, I don't. And Scott, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe there's any additional striping we need to do.
That's correct. At this time, there's no plan to go in. There's a prescribed, education.
Hey, Scott, check your volume. You're really low.
We can't hear
Someone's
you.
talking, but I can't hear what.
How is it now?
It's better.
Still
Still a little.
Got to be louder.
Ah, okay.
I can't hear it. I don't know if somebody else can.
I hear a murmur.
Oh, I think he's frozen. He's trying to do something, but I don't hear anything either.
Hey, so Ms. Spain, hey, Eric Gordon here. So there is no requirement or expectation to do additional parking spaces or restriping. I think does that answer your question, sir?
Yes. To the right of the school complex, there's a small area outlined in blue, kind of irregularly shaped.
Mhm.
What is that?
That was just it's a trail, and the horse run pen right here is just part of the original property that KAA, King Abdullah Academy, acquired, I believe, for some open space requirements.
I believe it's a conservation area.
Yes, conservation.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
It's
All right.
treed like the area that if it had not been white, it would have shown the same type of trees that are north and south of it, right?
Correct.
Yes, yes.
Okay. It looks like it's been clear cut, so I'm sure it's
No,
not.
it's just a white overlay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, next person is going to be Steve and then Lewis. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll bring up the age-old concern that this property, I certainly see that this is a very attractive opportunity here. But on the north side, there are data centers, and on the south side, there are data centers. So it's almost surrounded. So I'll just make that observation.
Lewis?
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Couple of things. I appreciated your conversation about that missing link on the street system. I think that's a very important factor for a couple of reasons. One is that you should never, all capitals, bold, underlined, never only have one point of access to a major public facility such as a senior high school. That's point one. Point two is I think you need to take a hard look at that internal traffic circulation system that's laid out there on this graphic. It looks like it would be very awkward and challenging given the typical mix of bus students at high schools of this size and those who drive to high schools of this size. I would also point out that on that graphic, it showed building 1 is the main educational building, but then you had building 2, building 3. Not sure exactly what those are going to be used for. One would assume there would be some related classes in those buildings for whatever reason it might be. They might be lab space or whatever, experimental space. If that is true, there needs to be appropriate accommodations for pedestrian movement across that street.
Yep, and I can speak to that. So building 2 and building 3, FPS does ultimately plan to use them for classroom purposes. We are working with the county as part of this application to commit to, prior to opening those buildings for classroom purposes, FCPS will construct a crosswalk across Education Drive. And we have some rough sketches of what that crosswalk would look like. And we're working with FCDOT on that.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. I would also comment, following up on some of the other comments Jim and others have made about those 3 buildings, semi-warehouse buildings immediately adjacent, lying in an I-5 zone district that basically says by right, they could become data centers or something associated with that, especially since you identified a desire on the part of the county to have educational tracks at this location for engineering, aerospace services, AI. Those are exactly the kind of things that love to be close to large data processing centers. Final comment I would make is that you have your projection of a maximum of 2,000 students, skimming some off of 3 other cited high schools. I would note that I've seen some recent information saying that the population of Fairfax County is not growing at the same rates that it has in previous decades, that it's a relatively flat total population. May or may not be seeing changes here. That may result in some further changes and adjustments on those enrollment sheds. And I know that was a major point of concern by a lot of people when this concept was being tossed out a little less than a year ago. Is that, well, here's a great opportunity. Here's all the pieces we're going to slice off the other high school enrollment areas. It'll be very interesting to see how that gets sorted out, especially since you are saying this will become an active high school for at least the 9th and 10th graders in August, September of this current calendar year. Thank you.
Hey, sir, I can, Eric Gordon here, Chief of Facilities. I can answer that, probably that last part. So true, we have seen a population decrease slightly this year. However, this western part of the division, the county, is growing. Silverline, there are still plenty of new planned housing units going in, and this high school will allow us to relieve oversubscription currently that we have at Chantilly and Centerville. So Centerville and Chantilly are severely over subscribed. This will help relieve that oversubscription. And again, I'll just reiterate, we do and see this part of the county is still growing, and internally still will continue to grow. Thank you.
Jeff? Jeff? I don't know what happened to Jeff.
Can somebody call him?
Yeah, I can do that.
He seems to be there. He's just silent. He's just mute and not having a camera on. And there is always the button to step away.
We can't hear you and can't see you on the WebEx.
Okay, there you go. All right, so in any case, Jihan, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jeff. I just wanted to echo what Stephen mentioned regarding the data centers and what Lou and Jim brought up as well. Given the zoning of the area, I wonder how appropriate it is that a school is being put in the middle of what will surely become a sea of data centers. How helpful is that for the children? And what will the county do about that when that becomes an eventuality? And I have a lot of reservations about that. That's all. Thanks.
Back to Jihan. Jim, you have your hand up?
I wanted to follow up, and Jahan kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but someone sent us a video this morning, just a few seconds, of an athletic field at the Sully Community Center, adjacent to a brand new data center and the video was of the black diesel fumes spewing from the data center kind of above this athletic field and whatever. And I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't heard exactly what's going on with those three buildings, but it looks like the outdoor track is very close to whatever's going on there. And I would think if the same conditions were going on with those buildings or of something else in that location, you'd be spoiling the track meet with the diesel fumes if that's ever going to overlap. And I don't know what long-term effects there are from something like that, but it seems like you would want to locate outdoor facilities like an outdoor track away from diesel fumes and generators, things like that. I'm not sure if that juxtaposition is what's anticipated, but it seems to me that's potentially a locational problem, at least with outdoor recreational facilities. I think you probably would not want them up against diesel generators. So that's more of a statement than a question, but what's the time frame for identifying what's going on with those three buildings?
Jessica, I don't know if the FCPS team has any other things to add, but staff's just been closely monitoring the situation. But it's my understanding that those three buildings are not involved in any sort of proposal currently for any other uses. But I'll continue to monitor it and check to make sure that's the case. But as of now, I'm not aware of anything on that particular property.
Thank you, William. I'm going to go with Steve and then Jay.
Just picking, we're just picking back off this topic, and now we just learned, what was it this week, that that the use of diesel generators is no longer an emergency use, or at least in some cases. So I don't even know what that means. Can these diesel generators be used for hours at a time? Does anybody have any idea?
No, unfortunately, I can't speak to the data center, guidelines or any standards that go into those, but definitely we'll keep monitoring that, and we'll make sure that it's noted and we identify those if they come up.
Okay, Jay?
Just to answer Steve's question, the generators are there for emergency, and they're only supposed to be started and run from 1 hour to 2 hours, just to ensure that they're ready and able when the need comes. The need would be in case the electric should go down for that area.
But I understood that supposedly there was a condition. They were mandated that they could only be run in an emergency situation, and they've changed that. Is that correct? Or at least for some data centers, they can use them for non-emergency.
I can answer that. Last year, DEQ, over a lot of objections, redefined emergency such that if the data centers give 2 weeks notice in advance, that counts as an emergency and they can run the generators. That's what happened.
To be the lack of just the opposite of emergency. If you have 2 weeks notice, by definition, it's not an emergency.
Yeah, it seems like that's backwards. That would be, the opposite of an emergency, but they're between a rock and a hard place because we're maxed out on the particulate levels and we're maxed out on the electrical grid, and something's got to give. And so they said, okay, well, we're going to have more emergencies than emergencies, and as long as you give 2 weeks notice, you can run the generators. So
again, I think that the non-emergency situation would be for them to start the generators to test and run them for a short period of time and then shut them down. That to me would require a 2-week notification. Emergency situation is when the electricity fails throughout the county or in their area, then they would have to start them up as a measure of emergency to keep the electricity flowing through the building. But I could see where they would be required to notify county that they want to test for 2 hours each generator or 1 hour for each generator on such and such a date, and then shut them down afterwards.
And it's Jahan, Jay. Unfortunately, Jim is correct, and there is a new revision by DEQ, and as Jim explained, with notification, the data centers are allowed to run their generators and are not subject to the 500-hour limit. And it's very unfortunate, but this is the new reality. And this is a reason, again, why I am very concerned about area zoning and the fact that these 3 little buildings are currently in a lower industrial use, quite frankly, gives me no comfort at all for those children.
All right.
And there we are.
And directly across the street where I used to work at using aircraft is in that parking lot directly south across McLaurin Road and Heads Drive is now a data center. The building that's shown is no longer there. I worked there, let's say, over the turn of the century, and it's now gone. It's now a data center. So there's a data center already built just south of the new Skyview. So maybe you want to call it data center view rather than Skyview. But all right, never mind. Okay.
Well, there are 3 buildings, Jeff. One is called United Rentals Aerial. The other is called Ace RV Rentals. And the other one is some sort of a restaurant called Gromond Inc. So I don't know that there's an immediate concern of them being torn down. I share the concern about the vacant building or the vacant lot right next door. But there would have to be some other sort of changes to go on for those 3 lots or those 3 areas to become available for a data center. I share your concerns about data centers. I'm 100% with you. And if Jim is correct and Jahan is correct, then again, I will reinforce my concern along with theirs about the continuance of use of diesel generators when there are other generator types available. And I'll stop.
I know that my son has rented an SUV, or no, a rec vehicle at that location, and we've taken trips from there. We've picked it up and gone other places. And so that's a current place where people rent RVs and traverse the country based on that. So it's an active facility from there. Another question I have for you is the size of the student parking is limited. Directly east of this parcel is Rachel Carson Middle School. Now, most middle school students don't park at school, and the parking lot at Rachel Carson Middle School is, I think, larger than needed for the staff of Rachel Carson Middle School. And I will project that some of the students at this new high school will come to the same conclusion that I did and park there and walk there and not pay the $100, $200 rental parking permit at the county rate and park the other place. And nobody will know the wiser, because I don't know if you have parking permits or parking stickers at Rachel Carson Middle School, but those kids are smart and they will figure that out. So be forewarned.
So we're pretty smart too. We do require parking passes, right? And so if a car is not properly registered, then they will be ticketed through our own processes. So
at Rachel Carson?
Yeah, of course. So, Rachel Carson has a teacher staff requirement. The park there. Only so many parking passes would be issued out at Skyview, and then so if someone's trying to park at Rachel Carson without a parking pass, then we would easily know that, and we would ticket that through our own process or identify that through our own process.
Okay. I'm just saying, I'm good. I also know there's on-street parking at Sunrise Valley, continuing north into the west. And so you will, and I don't know if there are parking restrictions about who can park there or not park there. So I will imagine the zone will be flooded till that is worked out. Okay, just a thought. All right then. So I'm going to ask the folks here. Jay, you have your hand up still? Go ahead.
No, sorry, I need to take it down.
Okay. All right. With that in mind, I see no hands up. Nobody's jumping in. What's our standard practice with 2232s? Do we approve them? Just acknowledge they're being presented? How do we handle a 2232? Should we?
Well, in the past, you would issue no objection if you didn't have any objections.
Do I hear objections? Okay, I'm going to give one. We have a possible objection if the county does not do anything to prescribe to ensure that the parcels just northwest of the school are not developed as data centers. We would want to ensure that somehow the county works to ensure that that doesn't happen. Any other objections? Jim, you have your hand up.
Can I make a suggestion?
Please.
Yeah, I think there's two things. I think we would want more information about the potential use on the adjacent property if it's I-5, and I think it was suggested that it may well be I-5. If it's I-5, things have changed in the last few months because everything in Loudon is now a special exception, but I-5 in Fairfax is by right for a data center. And so even if it isn't a data center today, they may be looking at the highest and best use, the owners of that property. It may well be a data center in a short period of time. And if it is, and if it's by right and unregulated and with the diesel generators, I'm not sure location-wise it's appropriate up against an outdoor track, for example. And I think we would need more information on that. The second thing, I think it's essential that street connection be made so that there's two ways in and out of the site. And maybe there's some plan to do that, but again, it seems a little vague. It doesn't seem to be part of the 2232. And I would think with 2,000 students and the school buses and the trips coming in and out and public safety and everything else, that little connection across the adjacent lot needs to be part of this, unless I'm missing something. And I don't really understand the pedestrian connection across the road to those two little buildings. If there's activities in, I guess I didn't hear that. I don't understand what's going on in the two little buildings, and if there needs to be a pedestrian connection, what's the deal with that? But the vehicular connection to Sunrise Valley and more information about the data center potential next to the track.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Next, Steve has his hand up. Go ahead.
I keep raising my hand.
Yeah, so I once again, I recognize the attractiveness of this location. The school is beautiful, but its location is not so great, especially in this day and age when they're putting up data centers everywhere. That's all I can say. You know, it may be too late. I mean, obviously, then I assume it's already purchased, right? So I mean, that's its only use, right? But it's just there's no control over where they're building they're building data centers everywhere. They're at least Loudon has attempted to deal with the situation by by doing away with the by right. And that is something that really needs to be done here. But in this particular case, it's too late. But so once again, I'm just recognizing that the location isn't nearly as attractive as the building.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Evelyn. She has a hand up. And then Jim next after Evelyn.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to ask Jim Hart. You said you were sent a video of how the athletic field was affected by the data center over by the Sully Community Center. Can you share that with us going forward? I've not seen what you're
I
referring
have
to.
that same picture, Jim, so I will send it to Evelyn, okay?
I think it came from the Sierra Club to Jeff this morning or this afternoon. I think it actually came from one of the Prince William folks, but he went to the Sully data center to take it's a video. It's 10 seconds long maybe, but I think I saw it CC'd from the Sierra Club to Jeff. Is that right?
And so I'm going to look for it to see if I can share
There was
it.
a link to it. It was like the third thing down in the whatever the transmittal was. I can find it. I can send it to Evelyn if you don't have it.
Yeah, I would appreciate that because I want to share it with staff who are experts in the data center arena and see how it could impact, based on what that video was showing, how it could possibly impact the athletic field at Skyview.
Yeah,
So I just
I
want
think
to follow up on
in context, the point they were trying to make was that it was about air patterns or something, and that they had another diagram that showed higher levels of particulate sort of extending from the Loudon side into Reston and Herndon, and not so much Chantilly. Actually, Chantilly kind of looked much less than where the stuff was going. But as the data centers go in, then I guess it spreads. But let me see if I can find that.
because I think the newer data centers are trying to be built cleaner so that they don't have a lot of pollution from this diesel fuel. But I need to just follow up with our staff to ensure that that situation will not occur.
As long as they're by right and there's no development
Data centers
conditions.
are being built cleaner, right? They have a right to put the data center there, but we have we have begun to place kind of guidelines on what is acceptable. And so I just want to verify that something like that would not happen, even if there were data centers that were built. I'm not saying they will or will not. I just want to follow up on it.
If I may, and piggybacking off Evelyn, so now they are making great strides with battery backup, and that is supposedly, technology that is around the corner, and that just needs to be. I think it needs to be taken advantage of, and maybe mandated, certainly near residential and near schools.
Thank you.
Can you, I think, Jim, you mentioned an email. Did you have a date, time of that so I can quickly find it?
I just clicked on it. I just sent it to Evelyn like 5 seconds ago.
But Jim, better idea. Why don't you share it so we can see it?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, let me see if I.
So on the bottom screen, it says share, and then you can go from there.
Let's see. Share. Okay. What do you want to share?
The video, yeah. So that email. So you
Well,
want to share your email product.
I'm not sure what to click on to put the video in the box.
So just share your email client, and then when you're in your email client, then you can go to the video.
Well, choose what to share.
One of those should be book or whatever it's called, the email.
Oh, here it is. This is it. Can you see it now? No, that's not it. This one. You see it?
So first you got to share your email client and then say share. So pick the screen you're going to share, then say share.
Yeah, I got it. It
Okay,
says,
hold on.
it
You're
says
not sharing yet.
Facebook.
You're not sharing.
Well, I clicked on share. Wait a minute. I got 3 different tabs.
Well, we don't see any tabs as of yet.
Okay, share.
I'm waiting to hear.
Why is it not?
Okay, so you're sharing this app. Then on the bottom, you say share, and it implements what you've picked. So it's a 2-step process.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to email it to Jeff.
Okay, I will look for your email. Okay, so I've got my email, and I will search for an email. Okay, so I'm going to go back this way and look for your email, and then I will share myself. Okay.
Okay, I sent a link to Jeff, and I sent it to Evelyn a minute ago, but.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking for your email. It's going to come. I'm going to click new email, and no, not that. I don't need that. So let's look to see and embed it. Refresh. Okay, there we go. No payment failure. That's a new thing. And so we're going to look again. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So we're going to click again. Refresh. I'm seeing spam. So I don't want to spam.
It says we can't display your shared content. Make sure that you've allowed permission and then try again. So it's not letting me do it. I don't know why.
Okay, Jim, I found it. 1 second. Okay. All right, so I'm going to share my screen and we'll watch Facebook, everybody. Hopefully we won't see too much of what's happening on Facebook, but let me look and see. Screen 2. Here. Okay, everybody, can you see my screen? Hello, can you see it? All right.
Yes.
So you can see, can you see what I see as the little drummer boy, right? That's can you hear what I hear? All right, in any case, there you go. This is the Coalition to Protect Prince William County. Who doesn't want their children breathing the carcinogens of diesel particles when they play sports? See more. And here is the Sully the Sully Highlands Park. And there's the new Amazon site that is next to the old EDS campus. And you can see the black smoke as it approaches. And they took that picture, okay? All right, so this is what we're talking about, that the Amazon warehouse data centers
next to the community, Sully Highlands Park, which is next to the Sully Community Center. Run those tests and you see the black smoke. With that in mind, I'm going to stop sharing. You've all seen the detrimental evidence, okay? All right, so now the next question is, if we're Evelyn, let me ask you, when do we need to make a decision on the 2232?
I believe they're coming, I believe we're having our hearing in May 13th. So you
Okay,
have a little bit of time.
let me ask the people from the school and the county to come back at our April date. Right now it's open, so you're going to get first dibs to address those issues that we've identified. First, that connection of Education Drive to the Sunrise Valley. Okay. Number two, the question of data center being built on those 3 parcels to the northwest. That was 2. Number 3, how you're going to handle overflow parking, but you think you have a handle on that, so that's okay. Are there any, and the pedestrian crosswalk. Now that the Education Drive is a cul-de-sac or a dead end, no way out, it's not a big problem. But if it ever becomes an extension of Sunrise Valley, and it's a clean shot from Innovation Center down to the Air and Space Museum Parkway, this road will get a lot more traffic. So we need to be aware of how we're going to handle that when and if that happens. If that segment is connected, this road becomes a major thoroughfare rather than a cul-de-sac. So that's a third item in our question. Any other items we'd like them to come address when they come back in April, if they can?
Well, Jeff, this is Lewis. I would counter your argument that if it's a cul-de-sac, it's not a problem. It will be a problem to get from the main academic building over to building 2 and building 3. Even if all you have is the traffic in and out to the parking areas, you never know what time some of those activities are going to be taking place, what the weather conditions are, what the lighting conditions are. You need to have the crosswalk installed prior to activities starting in those other 2 buildings.
And
Period.
that is what FCPS is doing.
Okay, so we do want to hear that. So I have those 3 issues identified. We're going to let you come back to us, if not you specifically, somebody to come back to inform us about these 3 issues that we have. So instead of saying,
Jeff.
Go ahead.
Hey, Jeff, this is Eric Gordon from the schools. When is your April meeting, sir?
3rd Monday of the month. Today being
Okay.
the 16th, we subtract 3, that's the 13th, so it's the 20th. I'm doing my mode 7 math.
April 20th, yes, sir.
Okay, that's when we're expecting back to you. So we're not able at this time to say we have no objection. Okay, we have concerns. They're not yet objections. We can forestall there being objections, but we have 3 concerns. All right.
All right, thank you.
That's why we ask that you come out to the Sully, and not just us, but to all citizen review groups, because we may have thoughts and conjectures that aren't obvious to other people, okay? We do thank the whole staff, the county staff, the consultants, the lawyers, the school board members, the school members, to all coming out tonight. We really appreciate you being here and your willingness to hear our concerns. We're trying to be constructive. We all have had kids go to middle school, high schools, and we know how devious they can be. We're trying to protect them.
Thank you, Jeff. I want to reiterate what Jessica was saying, that the crosswalk is a major point of discussion between the school system and William and the staff as part of the 2232. So that is being addressed for the ultimate condition of that connection.
Okay, and you now know 2 other items that we have concerns with.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you again for coming. We're going to go from here to a discussion of the land sale. So William, you're welcome to stay on board and listen to that too, if you'd like to, okay?
Bye, thank you all.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad that there was no tomato,
Yes.
alarms going off tonight, and everybody took it easy. Thanks so much for coming out. We look forward to hearing back from you from April. You know where we can be found. Hopefully in April, we'll have our meeting at the Sully Governmental Center. But there'll always be this hybrid
you.
link. We always try to make that happen. Okay? With that, thank you all for coming. And we're going to go to the next item. Okay? Thank you again. So I'm going to share my desktop and share and go to, let's go to here and share. I'm going to turn this off. Okay, so we're sharing this and hold on a minute. Okay, so here we go. Can everybody see the agenda? Okay. So I'm going to go down here to go up. So as we see here, we were talking about 8:10. So we're about 20 minutes behind. All right. So we had talked about this last month, and we decided that we wanted somebody from county staff to join us. And Tracy, who we invited, sent us this response. Thank you for your interest. And then she sent to us the letter that she sent, and letter on. There you go. Hold on. That's wrong. I see what the problem is. So hold on. Oops. Hold on, it's coming. You come. That's it here. Okay, hold on. Downloads. No, okay, so we're gonna do, we will do it a different way. If at first you can't succeed, I try again. So hold on a second for a second. Give me a second to look my solution, if I may. And we're going to go to here. Here. Go to what?
Jeff?
Yes.
There was an email from Tracy Strunk to Ann Bennett answering some of her questions.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to right now.
I probably have it somewhere.
Okay, well, that's what we're gonna do right now. And so wrong place here. I'm in the wrong. Oh, maybe I could need to be someplace else. Let me do this. Okay, here we go. Okay.
I have
found
it.
What's that?
It's March 12, 11:28 a.m.
Okay, I think by Jove, I may have it. Is this it, everybody? Can you see it? Am I sharing it?
We see the email.
Okay, so here's the email that that's Tracy referred to and said this should answer many of our questions. And go over these. Has the Fairfax County shared any agreements such as MOUs with Starwood Capital with affiliates? And it says the county has executed letter of intent, cost sharing agreement, purchase, sale, payment, escrow, access. Okay, and they give you where these might be. And can you make these agreements available to the public? Yes, we've already shared them. A non-disclosure been assigned? No. Okay, have any sales arranged? And what are the terms? And here's the purchase and sale agreement. Please elaborate on the consideration the proposed originated. And did the developer solicit offer? Was this an unsolicited? Unsolicited? Was there a public advertised request for a proposal? Competitive bidding is not required for the sale of county-owned real estate. Ensure that it receives fair market value. And received competing offers. This county received third-party appraisal confirming the offer exceeded fair market value. And we seek office of county executive and or other developers considered or explored. Tax revenue. All right, so this is the letter in question, and this is what Tracy said should resolve the issues that we had without having a member of our staff join us tonight. And some of you have already read this, and you can see here is the item. So going back to the agenda, Jim has prepared a draft resolution, and Louis Grimm modified it, and so hopefully, well, this is resolutions. I'm having. Oh, maybe this target is there. We go. So I'm going to get rid of this. There we go. Okay, so Jim, do you want to speak to this?
Well, I did what you said, I think. I saw Lou's edits, and I'm fine with Lou's edit.
Okay, so Louis Grimm's edits have been incorporated. I just said accept them all. So why don't you go over this for us and tell us, and I can close down as we talk, okay?
You're asking me or Lou?
I have no pride of authorship. Whoever feels the most committed, please speak.
Well, I think the staff is in a difficult position, and they answered some of the questions. They partly answered some of them, and they didn't touch some other ones. I made the draft probably more abbreviated than it could have been if we went through every single question. But I thought it hit the high point from the other email. And again, I was fine with Lou's edits. Lou always makes it a little stronger. I can't quite read what's up on the screen now. I don't know if that's my draft or
This is your draft with Louis's changes.
Well,
Louis,
I mean, I think there's 4 points, and I thought there was probably a consensus on that, and it doesn't need to be 20 pages long.
So, all right, so basically, the joint committee requested the Board of Supervisors not approve it, and many important questions regarding the sales have not been answered, and whether additional, all right, so the question is whether the other sites, all right, and we go on, opposes the sale of the county land to facilitate the construction of a by right data center. Well, there may be legitimate reasons why surplus county land could be sold to private developer. The Joint Committee strongly opposes current ordinance provisions allowing by right development data centers on any property. Okay, the Joint Committee continues to support citizen engagement in public hearings on all uses, real estate transactions, especially this magnitude with confidential provisions. All right, and the Joint Committee expresses its shared support for the questions raised by other concerned groups of the county, which includes the Sierra Club, Nature Forward, Path Alliance for Climate Action, Chesapeake Climate Action Network, and Friends of Homes Run. And okay, the Joint Committee opposes the proliferation of data centers by right. And we have here this press release And the further question is what the fundamental economic viability relates to the sale of this 41-acre property to private development organization. And all right, so I was planning to sign up to speak to this. Then a fraternity brother who I haven't seen for 20 years asked to spend the night at our house, and we're going to go out to dinner with him and his wife. So that means I can't speak in front of the board. So I was planning to just send a letter of this resolution if it's endorsed and not speak to it specifically. If anybody wishes to do that, they can do so by sending a video, by doing by telephone, or showing it in person. But the point being is that first we would have to approve the resolution and then decide how it would be presented. So this is a motion to approve this resolution submitted by Jim Hart and seconded by Louis Grimm by making the reservations. I'm being presumptive to assume that Jim was in favor of this and Louis is in favor of it. I may be mistaken, but I believe that's the two statements. So any discussion on this?
I'm okay with you sending a letter instead of going. The only other thing I would say, paragraph 5 is Lou, and if I understood some of the emails tonight, there may be a story on Channel 7 about the whole thing, but I wasn't really comfortable that I knew enough about what happened. But I think Lou is right to raise that.
And somehow you just went from being good hearing into a lot of reverb. Louis, are you still with us?
I am. You know, and I basically added that last section, that item 5, based upon a few other things that I'd seen and heard. And I don't know why we're getting a lot of background noise or whatever, but I'd seen a couple of instances where people were saying that the price per acre for this parcel seemed to be substantially lower than what it would have been for similar sized parcels in Prince William County. So you look at that and you say, well, if Fairfax County really believes we need a significant increase in revenue coming to the county, why did they not negotiate a better deal to sell this land to the developer? Did they give the developer a discount? Question mark.
Okay. Does anybody have an objection or wish to change the wording? Otherwise, I'll call a vote and we'll send this out. I don't hear any way or no. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, all those say nay, nay. The ayes have it. I'll send this out tonight. I'm not planning to be there in person. This will be on record from Sully District Council. Okay, any other comments or questions on this?
Jeff, it's
Go ahead.
John. I just wanted to say, and in follow-up to this discussion about data centers, I was able to contact Charles Turner of the DEQ air monitoring, head of DEQ air monitoring, who did agree to speak with us, make a presentation. I had forwarded you email and addressed it to Mr. Turner as well. I never heard back regarding any of that, but it seems that air quality monitoring is something that we might very well want to discuss further, being that we are the first people in line to get the negative air impacts of the data centers that are being constructed in both Loudoun and Western Sully.
So Gian, why don't you invite him to our April meeting?
Well, Jeff, I think that he will have questions about presentation format, I'm sure, as well.
Okay, if you want me to, I'll find your email and get back to him. Okay?
That would be great.
I'll do that, Gian. And if I can't find the email, but I'm sure I can, I'll just search for your name and find it, okay? So that's 2 items on the agenda for April. We have the return of our folks from the schools, and we'll have George, okay? With that in mind, I think the motion passes. We will send that resolution. If anybody would like to step up to speak to it at tomorrow's board meeting, it's still possible. I'm going to go back to the agenda, and I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to go back to this. And the next item that we have is the, hold on here. The last item we have tonight is, for action, is this county had a meeting last week, I think it was, on the walking and biking infrastructure priorities. It's countywide, and they had 2 meetings, and then presentation is here if you wish. Okay, and so each magistrate has a list of items. Sully's are these, and it would make sense for us, being the Land Use and Transportation Committee, to look these over, and the feedback is on the 31st, okay? So what I'm going to say is, rather than spend the night and hashing it at this time, I would like those people who are interested is to rank these from 1 down to, take these and rate them in your order. I will assign them points and see which are the best, which work. I'll look at it. And because we obviously can't have all 15, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are, I can tell. It goes, they're not numerically in sequence, so it doesn't work. But all right, so give me your top 6 items. I will assign point value to the top 6. So each person who wishes to give me your top 6, I'll consolidate that and send it out to everybody for comment, and then we'll consent with a finalized result. Individual communities can send their own comments. Individuals can send their own comments, but it would make sense to me that if we sent it as a consolidated joint Sully District Land Use and Transportation Committee recommendation, it might have some additional weight.
By when?
I'd like to have it, tonight is Monday, I'd like to have it next week, today. Today being the 16th, making it 17th and 23rd. So I'll send that out to everybody, reminding them that it'll be the 23rd. And with that, I'm going to go down a couple of other things for your consideration. So you can see here, we have the Dulles Airport update next Tuesday. Remember, not Wednesday, but the Tuesday. We have the Centerville Area Task Force, Jay's arranged. We're planning the General Assembly report by delegates and senators May, and we're having the Fairfax Fire and Rescue on the 24th of June. The Westfield Business Owners Association pussyfooted around. We'll either have them in October to December, or if they're free December or August, we'll schedule them then. So the Community Services Committee of the Fairfax Federation has sent the following notice. And so it's a summary of what the status is with ADUs, and they're recommending that here. And so the boards can do this. And so this is what you're seeing here. their recommendations. Okay. The other item is, remember we talked last month, we had the casino presentation at the Sully District Council meeting. That's gone forward. And so we have here a request to ask her to veto the bill. And so here's some information. You can send the information or you can call our office, okay? For general information, we have the government sent a visioning survey. We have the countywide strategic plan, the cultural recreations dashboard. There's bills to allow by right housing. And the Sully Budget Town Hall was held on the 4th of March with Supervisor Kathy Smith and Sully School Board member Seema Dixit. Here's a link to the video of the event. Here's a link to the county budget page. Here's a link to the county school page. But I wanted to thank Seema and Kathy Smith. They allowed me to speak after they first introduced themselves, introduce myself as a representative of Sully District Council, and encourage the participants or attendees to have their communities join the Sully District Council. This turnout was very sparsely attended compared to previous years that I've attended there. There was no big item on the agenda. The county wasn't planning to terminate an item that people depended on. And so we didn't have, 3/4 of the crowd there with signs and things like that. It was very low key compared to previous years. So we had the Centerville Area Task Force on Wednesday, the 22nd of April. And now we have 2 items for consideration. The school coming back, and we'll work with the person that Jihan recommended, and I'll see if I can get that person there in April. Okay? Are there any other concerns or questions that we have tonight?
Jeff?
Please.
Did the casino folks need us to do anything?
Yes. Here's what they want us to do. By now you've read the order. Please consider an email to her or calling her office to ask her to veto the bill. That's what they want us to do. They want us to reach out. And I would not have a problem, based on our previous position, that the Sully District Council send her a letter saying, don't do it. I'd be even happy if somebody was to write the letter. Hint, hint. Anybody wish? No, maybe.
I think it's consistent with what we did before.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to forward our resolution against the casino to Abacus Spanberg, governor of Virginia.gov, and say, in light of our previous position, in light of what's happening, we ask that you veto this. Okay? Any other comments or thoughts tonight?
Yeah, Jeff, just one quick thing on that list of the bicycle pedestrian improvements. Again, I think it's a good idea to have everybody take a look at those and see what they might suggest. One thing that caught my eye as I was giving it a quick scan is that a lot of these specific activities are neighbors, if not directly related to each other. It's like a part A, part B, part C of a longer improvement corridor. I think to the degree that we could identify several of those that would make sense to combine into a single action, there are benefits to that. One,
take that, Lewis, if you would like to, as part of your input, say these items should be treated as a pair rather than separately.
All right. And I would encourage everybody to do the same thing in their reviews.
Okay, I appreciate that, Lewis. So you can see here, some of them I'm actually familiar with, and I've warranted the fact that there's a missing segment in my walk as I walk around the neighborhood and go, why is this missing? So I'm glad to see that somebody's doing this. But as we know, the county may have $1 million to spend, but over 9 districts and 15 each or 20 each, you know that he's all not going to go. So we need to look and concentrate and make our recommendations with Sully District Council if we can, or the joint committee's recommendations. Any
And,
other comments?
it's actually $100 million over 10 districts. That says it's $10 million per district.
Oh, no, oh, come on. They never had that before. So let's look at this, what it says here.
Well, look at that
100
bottom of
million.
your.
And it says,
So what you had on your agenda for item 4 at 8:45.
here it is. Invest $100 million. Oh, I'm going to share my screen. Hold on. I'm not sharing. So let me share, okay? Okay, you should be seeing now the page, okay? This is the page, and it says 100 million for active transportation. So I'm assuming that's throughout the county. And they want it by 4:30 on Tuesday, the March 31st. So if I'm asking people to get it to me by the 24th, next week, that'll be plenty of time for us to craft a response by the 31st, okay? And so here you see they have 100 million of bicycle pedestrians. And so they have 1788 left. A million here, a million there, not much, right? But in any case, I encourage you to follow the link that's on our agenda, look at this over, and then for each segment, they then have, here's the Sully District. I've clicked the Sully District and I've presented, put that into the agenda. So if you click here, you'll see the same information that you saw before. And I encourage each of you to take a survey, but we're going to submit, if we can, a consolidated response from the joint Sully District Land Use and Transportation Committee. Hoping that has a little bit added weight. And if that's the case, maybe, let me check to see here. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to go to participants. Evelyn's still here, but we lost Poonam from the Kathy's office. Okay, so any other comments or questions before we call it quits for this evening?
Yeah, I have my hand up.
Okay, well, okay, Stephen, go ahead.
As John Litzenberger will attest, our community has been trying to get a 300 feet of sidewalk for years. We've approached Kathy Smith for a couple times, and to no avail. So we've already submitted a response to our survey, to that survey, but unfortunately, it's not on the list of identified improvement.
All right then. So I will send an email out to everybody reminding them about the request to get the input in a week's night, a week from today. Okay. And I'll also make that notice in the agenda coming up for next Tuesday night's meeting. And with that, I hope everybody can join us. We're not just having Mike Cooper. Most of us are familiar with Mike Cooper. He's addressed our community, our organization many times in the past. But the fact that he's bringing in the operational director, I wish John Litzenberger was here so he could tell us how important that was. But he's not with us anymore.
He was having a problem with his microphone.
What? I know. He told me. Okay. With that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, any other questions or comments?
Yeah, Jeff, this is Jay. John's not on, but he and I have talked about trying to consolidate the two bank accounts. It's either that or we move the bank accounts to a different bank. Wells Fargo is increasing their minimum balance to, I think, either $3,000 or $5,000 without a charge. If you have less than that, we're going to receive a $3 monthly charge.
Okay.
So he and I are going to meet and try to figure out what we're going to do with it.
So, for 20 odd years, we've been talking about Western Fairfax and Sully District commingling and mixing our gene pools.
I've been trying to do that for several years.
So let's make it happen. If there's anything you need me to do, I can do it, but I'm not a Western Fairfax guy where I'm outside the boundaries of your area.
Well, John has Stephen's agreement. The problem is I don't think there's enough money between both bank accounts to get us over the maximum. So we may need to go find a bank that is going to give us credit for not having a minimum
Do
balance.
you want me to contact my credit union?
We'll see.
Okay, I'm a member of the Northwest Federal Credit Union and Apple Federal Credit Union, and we might be able to work with either one of those two. And they're both local credit unions.
Right.
You
Let's
want
see
me to
what we
put my
can do.
nose out and sniff around there?
Well, see what they say.
If you're looking for a bank, I think I have a little checking account at United Bank, which doesn't have $3,000 in it, but I don't get a service charge. The bank is it's in Center Ridge, kind of tucked away in a corner, but near Braddock Road or New Braddock Road and Centerwood, near Sweetwater Tavern.
Yeah,
in that
right.
shopping
I know where
center.
it is. Right.
And like I say, they're not giving me a service charge. I mean, maybe because I got other things going, but I think they would do a tiny checking account that doesn't have a service charge.
Okay. We'll
Okay.
nose around and see if we can find a bank or a
Yeah,
credit
I will
union.
reach out to my credit unions, and if you, in your dealings with financial institutions, have some other organization you'd like to contact, the more choices we have, the better off we are.
All right.
Thank you, Jay. And Jay, you did get the deposit I made this week, right? Last week?
Say again?
You did receive the information about the deposit I made last week.
No.
I sent you a picture of the check. I will send you another one, and if you should have received notification from the bank that you got the money, that we got a $50 check from Chantilly Highlands. I will forward you
All
the
right.
information I got. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. And folks, we have received 3 memberships this year. Okay. Count them 3. We have a check from Chantilly Highlands, from Chantilly Farms, and we have a check from Franklin Farm. We have no other checks. So think about it. If your organization has not joined, please do. I mean, Steve, Jay, I think you guys you can still join. And
our check is sent every year. We have an automatic pay.
I understand.
It's not the beginning of the year.
We haven't received it for 2026 yet.
Well, I'll check, but I know I deposited a check not too long ago from Virginia Run. They sent it to me directly.
So maybe it was sent to you directly and not aware because I didn't get an application form submitted in the email.
Right. I just get the check from them.
Okay. All right then.
I'll check it.
And is that your membership only, or is it also the Federation membership?
No, it's just for me, Jeff.
Okay, got you. Just for the Sully District. Okay, so we still, Jeanne, if you can, Steve, if you can, and maybe we should consider raising the price for $20. I don't think any group that was going to contribute 10 would have a heart attack by contributing 20.
Jeff, I sent $100, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago.
I know you did. Thank you. But my
Because-
problem is when people say, well, how many organizations are your members? We go 4. And, you know.
We don't have one. I don't know what to do. We don't
Okay,
have.
all right, then, all right. I understand, Jan. Our group, Jim Neighbors, we need to get Jim Neighbors going on that. But Steve, you live where now? I know you don't live in Franklin Farm, Chantilly Highlands.
I live in Virginia Chase.
Okay, see what you can do, okay?
Yeah, well, it'll be my personal membership. I thought we were going to, I was going to donate whatever we have in the bank.
All right. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, With that in mind, I thank you all for attending tonight's meeting. 2 hours, we accomplished 4 things. We have a resolution being sent on the sale of the property. We have the approval of this without objection of the Chick-fil-A. We have 3 issues that we identified for the school system and county to address for the new West Skyview location. We've asked people to submit by next Monday their top 5 of the Sully plan proposed projects. And we've made progress tonight. Thank you all for attending.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thanks again, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.